Leadership, a simple concept that moves the world, writes history, and drives the lives of millions of people around the world. This is a story that celebrates our leadership and makes us proud of who we are. Today, Latino Leaders Magazine crosses the path of the same leaders we've been interviewing for more than 18 years, making all of us that work at Latino Leaders Magazine proud of our past and excited about our future. Latino Leaders Magazine is confident that we will continue to inspire the leaders that will write the future pages of our history. We have witnessed the enormous potential and value of Latino leaders. Now, Latino Leaders Magazine wants to continue to serve them by connecting these leaders and thus inspiring the future.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host and publisher of Latino Leaders Magazine, Mr. Jorge Ferraiz.
Hello, I'm Jorge Ferraiz, and I want to welcome to the Dallas Maestro Awards 2023, a great collection of leaders to be celebrated tonight. It's a privilege for all of us working in Latino Leaders to welcome you and share these great stories with you. I want to say thank you to our sponsors, Southwest Airlines, Toyota, Children's Health, and Comerica Bank. These four great organizations have been supporting us over the years to make the Maestro Awards even more important. It is with great gratitude and pride that I invite you to watch with us the following program, and welcome again to the Dallas Maestro Awards 2023.
At Southwest Airlines, it's always been about heart. It's about loving people, about putting others first. It's about building resilience through connections that last, because distance shouldn't keep us from being neighbors. It's about living responsibly and doing things the Southwest way. We believe the act of connecting can make the world feel a bit smaller and the future a little brighter. And it all starts with heart.
Jorge, thank you for bringing us together this evening. You and your team connect leaders and inspire others through your publications and events. And to this year's award recipients, congratulations! Tonight, we celebrate you, your service to our communities, and your many accomplishments. I'm Laura Nieto, and I serve as the Managing Director of Corporate Responsibility at Southwest Airlines. At Southwest, we invest in diverse partnerships and programs that help accelerate social, environmental, and economic advancement in our communities. Through our longstanding partnership with Latino Leaders Magazine, we've seen firsthand how the power of celebrating Latino success stories can inspire the next generation of leaders. Tonight, I'm honored to recognize a community champion, visionary leader, and a dear friend, Ms. Hilda Galvan. Ms. Galvan is the partner in charge of Jones Day's Dallas office, where she is responsible for strategic planning, operational oversight, and profit and loss management. Under her leadership, the office has successfully expanded its client base and increased its financial performance. Beyond her professional endeavors, Ms. Galvan utilizes her unique skills to make a meaningful impact on her community, dedicating her time and energy to organizations that promote education, economic development, the well-being of women and children, and the overall advancement of the Hispanic community. Ms. Galvan most recently served as the board chair of the Texas Women's Foundation. And as a former member of the board, I had the distinct honor of serving under her leadership and seeing firsthand how she boldly and authentically leads to advance the mission of the foundation. Ms. Galvan's contributions as a decorated business leader and community advocate have earned her prestigious recognition, including induction into the Junior Achievement Dallas Business Hall of Fame, recognition as the Latina Living Legend by the Hispanic 100, and the recipient of the Sarah T. Hughes Award for Lifetime Achievement awarded by the State Bar of Texas Women and Law Section. On behalf of our more than 61,000 Southwest Airlines employees, it is my privilege to present the Maestro Award for Leadership to Mrs. Hilda Galvan. Congratulations, Hilda.
The Latino Leaders Maestro Award in Dallas 2023 in the category of Leadership is being presented to Hilda Galvan, an outstanding leader working for others. Let's see her story.
So I was born and raised in El Paso, Texas. I am the middle child of three. My parents were wonderful parents, did not have the opportunity to get an education, but they encouraged my brother, my sister, and I to get one. And it made all the difference in the world. So we ended up, graduating from high school. My mom dropped out of school in 6th grade, and my dad was a sophomore in high school. So they didn't have that opportunity, but we got it. So then I went off to college and got my degree in electrical engineering from the University of Texas at El Paso, and moved to the big city of Dallas after that and worked in the telecommunications industry for about 5 years, and then went to law school down at UT Austin. And after 3 years, came back to Dallas. My husband and I commuted. He stayed here in Dallas, and I was in Austin, and we commuted for the 3 years. I had my son my last year of law school and started as a baby lawyer in a big law firm with him as a 6-month-old baby. It was the craziest year of my life. And now I've been practicing for 30 years and am currently the partner in charge of the Dallas office of Jones Day. My career path, it's been twofold, right? So the first part of my career was as an engineer. And that was, I had a love for math and science when I was a little girl. I started programming back when I was in 6th grade. And this will always date me. When I started programming, you typed one statement per card, and you had this big stack of cards that you would take to the mainframe, and you would run through that. But I knew I loved that math and science part, so I went into engineering. And it wasn't until I was going to UTEP that I worked for a lawyer and really fell in love with being in the courtroom. I thought it was so much fun. I played basketball in high school, and it was like playing a sport, the adrenaline rush that you get from being in the courtroom. So I knew I was going to go to law school. It was just a matter of graduating, making some money, which I did as an engineer. I was going to do that for 2 years. 2 became 5. But then I went to law school. And my law degree in my practice is technology litigation. So I combine being in the courtroom with understanding technology, and it's made it a fun and interesting career. Yeah, there were a number of challenges, and I think the biggest challenge was because I'm female. So I would say it started when I was in elementary school with the teacher thinking that, why would I go into math and science? Maybe I should, try education, something that was more traditional. Then when I was in college, I was in my Electronics 1 class, and my electronics professor walked in, and I was the only female, and that was pretty typical. He looked around the classroom, looked right at me, and said, well, we all know who's going to fail this class. And you what do you do, right, except prove them wrong. And so you just, if I failed any other class, I was going to get an A in that one. And so, but it was that. And then, interestingly enough, when I came to Jones Day, and I've been here 27 years, so I've been here a long time. But when I first started, similar situation, big boardroom, we're handling multiple cases for a client, and senior partner walks in, he looks around the room, and I was the only female, and he said, oh, I thought we were only going to have lawyers in this meeting. He assumed, of course, that I was either a legal assistant or a secretary. So you had that where people weren't sure that I was, a lawyer or an engineer. And so those types of challenges, and all you can do is do your best and prove them wrong, and have a thick skin. Got to have a thick skin. So currently I have responsibility for the Dallas office of Jones Day, which means I'm responsible for our financial operations. I'm responsible for developing our lawyers and making sure that the next generation of lawyers and leaders are, getting the training that they need and the opportunities that they need. And then I'm the kind of the ambassador for the firm here in Dallas. So I'm very involved in various organizations to just keep our name out there and people recognize the good that we're doing. And then I have to practice law also. So I still practice law. I would say that what keeps me inspired and motivated is what I can do for the community. So I've been very blessed and not many people have the same opportunities that I have, or the same role models that I have. So I tend to like to do things for organizations that help women and girls and the Latino community. So I'm involved with Cristo Rey. I'm on the board of Cristo Rey Dallas, and I'm the former board chair, just stepped down for Texas Women's Foundation. And so those are the two that kind of go to my passion of helping women and girls and in the Latino community. And then also I'm the former chair of the Dallas Regional Chamber, which is all about bringing those companies to North Texas and making sure there's economic development, which then helps everybody in the community. So I always say my hobby is being involved in the community, and I enjoy it. You meet great people and you're doing good. I think the things that you do outside of work and even the nonprofit, outside of that world is, I spend a lot of time with my husband. We've been married for 36 years. I met him in college, so we both studied electrical engineering. And it's just kind of hanging out. We love music, so we go to a lot of concerts. Just came back from U2 in Las Vegas. It was very amazing. So we just spend time together. Music, having friends over, going out to dinner with friends, just kind of enjoying the simple things, like to travel. Right? And so just came back from New York, did some Broadway shows. So it's just that time with the people that you enjoy being with. I still go home and see my parents in El Paso. I'm lucky. My dad's 92. Still get to spend time with him. Mom's 84, so I spend time with them as well. I'd love to get on a corporate board. I've been doing some corporate board training to do that. I'm fascinating about the ability to take the skill set that I've developed and just kind of go in and provide guidance, not to actually do the work, but provide the guidance. I think that's fascinating to me, to see a business. And then the businesses that I'm really interested in are the ones that are using technology for good. There's a company that's just one of my favorites, where the owner developed a robot to help autistic children. And so he was in robotics, and you can do all kinds of stuff with that, but to take it and change the lives of these children and their families. So getting involved with companies and helping them that are trying to use technology for good. I want to be remembered for always treating people with respect and really caring about them. I really make an effort to treat everyone I meet with respect, but also to help them. Right? Sometimes it's a little bit of advice. Sometimes it's a little bit more than that. But I know that the times that I have felt the best about what I'm doing is when I run into somebody I haven't seen in 10 years and they say, Hilda, I remember when you gave me this piece of advice, or when you said X to me, or you treated me in a certain way. And that always makes me feel like, okay, I've done good. And I want to be remembered for that. Treating people with respect and helping them in their journey in some small way.
The mission of Asociación de Empresarios Mexicanos in Dallas-Fort Worth is to help business leaders connect, network, build relationships, and contribute to the business community by fostering cross-border relationships, learning about the growth and business opportunities in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. In AM, we are excited to support business leaders so that together we all can achieve our goals and contribute to our community success. Join us in this exciting venture, and together at AEM, we can create better opportunities for our country.
It's easy to talk about diversity
and equity
and inclusion.
They're just words.
Words.
It's not as easy to live up to them.
At Comerica Bank,
These words don't describe what we try to do.
they define what we do.
And who we are. This is why 52% of all Comerica managers are women.
And why 31% of all senior leaders are racial minorities.
Because actions always speak louder than words.
Hola. What a grand night this is as we celebrate the Latino Leaders Maestro Awards. My name is Cineria Ordóñez and I am the National Hispanic Business Development Manager at Comerica Bank. And we're excited to highlight the professional achievements of Benny Agosto. Benny Agosto is the managing partner at Abraham Watkins Nichols Agosto Sis and Stagner. He was born in New York City and raised in Puerto Rico. He graduated from South Texas College Law Houston and is now a board-certified lawyer in personal injury trial law. His legal practice focuses in representing individuals and their families who have been harmed due to the negligence of others and catastrophic injuries. He leads several of the large chemical plant fire and explosion cases throughout Texas. He has committed to both his legal profession and to the community. At the Houston Bar Association as president, he was the first Spanish speaker and the second Latino to do so. During his presidency, he expanded on award recognitions for top women lawyers, for the Diversity Summit, and the LGBTQ Committee. At the National Hispanic Bar Association, he was a co-founder to the Education Fund, the 501c3 charitable organization that raised funds for scholarships for minority students. As the founder of the Mexican American Bar Association of Texas, he has committed to, again, raising funds for Hispanic students who are studying law in Houston. Benny has consistently been on the top 100 list in both Houston and Texas super lawyers list. He has been selected by his peers due to his inclusion as one of the top lawyers in America. He has been a recipient of the President's Awards with the State Bar and the Houston Bar Association, as well as the Outstanding Public Service Award recognition from South Texas College Law. And with all of these recognitions, he always credits his parents because they reminded him that education is the one thing that no one can take away from you. And with that same passion and rigor, Benny has been committed to his community. And for this and all that he has accomplished, we thank you, Benny, and recognize your work. Gracias.
The Latino Leaders Maestro Award 2023 in Dallas, in the category of Professional Achievement, is presented to Benny Agosto, a very successful lawyer, always helping those in need. Let's see his story.
It's a fabulous story. A lot of us have parents or grandparents that didn't go to school, and that was the time. You know, my father and my mother were born in the early 1900s, and after World War I, schooling wasn't the best. So they only went to the 6th grade in Puerto Rico. And then after that, they started working. Unfortunately, at age 13, they were both working. So they raised us to be very strong. The number one role model that I have is my parents. My dad worked 7 to 7 at the factory, the jewelry factory. My mom worked 24/7 raising 5 children and taking care of the home. And always they raised us to be good Christians and hard workers. At the age of 13, they were working when they were 13. Well, I was too. I was delivering newspapers. But it was while going to school, of course. It was just teaching me the work ethic that you have to succeed. I saw my parents do it, so for me it was easy. Sell some newspapers in the morning, deliver it to the homes, read the paper, and go to school. It was part of my routine, so it ingrained me very early, watching my heroes, my parents, that hard work pays off. And even though they didn't have an education, they had the great work ethic and the spiritual life, that they were strong Christians. So that really taught me a lot. So the last hero that I have is the teacher, Mrs. Irizarry, that said, you know what, Benny, don't just go to high school. Don't just go to college. Do something else. My parents never even got out of high school, so they really couldn't advise me that well. But Mrs. Irizarry, my history teacher in high school, she knew. And she said, don't just study to one level. Go as far as you can go. Of course, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to go to college. And of course, playing soccer was the one that brought me to Houston, Texas. When you are blessed by God and you have the favor of God, then doors open and opportunities come to you. So I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But I did have a pure heart in that I wanted to do good. And when I became a lawyer, I thought, this is my chance to do something good. I have passion to help others, and this is what God is preparing for me. So when I have the opportunity to come to Abraham Watkins, this prestigious law firm, the oldest plaintiffs firm in the state of Texas, I thought, there's not a single Latino in this firm. There's not a single minority. No one speaks Spanish. I would walk around and they would need me for everything because there wasn't even secretaries that spoke Spanish at the time in 1991. So what I did was I used that in my mind as the opportunity to grow. I said, with God's help and hard work, I'm going to grow because I have this skill, which is being Latino and speaking Spanish just as well as I speak English. So I started using that. And then the passion for my clients started to grow because I represent people that have been hurt or killed, families that are down or suffering because of some others group's negligence, right? That's what we stand for. So when you work that way, it's easy to have passion for the downtrodden. So I said, I'm going to really use all my energy and all my knowledge and all my passion to help my clients. So fast forward, I started working hard. I'm successful. I'm trying cases. I'm successful at winning cases. Then one thing happened, and that is that I represented a man from Mexico who was killed. And when we went to trial, the other side wanted to tell the jury that he was undocumented or illegal, as they like to say. And because of that, that caused me great stress and distress. I said, Judge, how can that be? This person was run over by a truck. The fact that he's undocumented means nothing. That's for immigration to deal with. So there was no law, no cases in Texas about that specifically. So after that case, I did win, but I could not bring in certain issues because they were going to be able to say he's undocumented. So what happened was I started doing legal research and writing law reviews or legal books or magazines or authorities that can't be the law. So fast forward some more years, over 10 years, and then I won a multi-million-dollar case for a man from El Salvador who was killed in a tragic accident. He was undocumented. And after I won the case, they appealed it up to the Texas Courts of Appeals because of that fact. And thankfully, we won the case, we won the appeal. And now, because of that case, the law in Texas is that you can't discriminate because somebody's undocumented if it has nothing to do with the fact he was killed in an accident. That is irrelevant. And so that has given me so much more success in my career. I give God the glory, but also I give my clients, I bless them and I thank them because it was because of their sacrifices that I was able to help others now moving forward. I'm passionate about a lot of things, and one thing I have a lot of passion for is my family. I'm, again, a blessed man as I sit here with you because of the family I have. My wife, Nikki, is my perfect partner. She is dedicated to everything we do together. She finished college. She's a real estate agent now. She, again, her dreams keep on growing and getting bigger, not just as a mom or a wife, but in her education and in her professional career. And we have a great partnership, and I love her to death, and I'm so happy she's in my life. My children, we have 4 children, Ben the third, Jonathan, Matthew, and Victoria. All of them are working in some respect with us. Ben and John, the 2 oldest ones, are lawyers. They're here with the firm. Matthew works with a funding company. He helps fund cases and fund people that are in need through his funding agency. Then Victoria is at the University of Houston studying psychology and has announced that she is thinking about graduate school, law school as an option. So we have a great family and we love to spend time together. And I think the best thing, when we said mentoring, you got to mentor your children too. And you got to raise them to have passion about others and to have passion about their work, but also to make sure they get educated. And we've really pushed that on them to do whatever they want to do. The fact that some of them have migrated into the law, it's because they think it's really easy because they see me doing it. They think, oh, Daddy can do it, I can do it. I'm glad they did it as well. And we're having a great time together. Every day I have one prayer, And that is, Lord, help me find the person you put in front of me to be able to help today. And if that's your true prayer and your true passion, that will never end. As long as I have life, I'll be looking for somebody to help. Whether it's the guy at the corner that needs $2 or the man selling the newspaper that I need to give him $2 and take the newspaper even though I have one at home. It doesn't matter. I'm going to find somebody to help. Of course, the needs grow the more you're involved in the community. And so there's a lot of need from, Navidad en el Barrio, which is an organization that we're trying to help. That they help children every Christmas, or Star of Hope that are helping the homeless. We have to be involved at the big levels, but also at the small levels, just everywhere you walk in life, trying to find somebody to help. And, at church, I get to preach every once in a while. I'm the chairman of our board of our church, which doesn't mean anything. It just means I run a good meeting. But because we have a Hispanic church, I have a little influence, right? So I get to preach in Spanish, and I just absolutely love that opportunity. Yeah, I have centers named after me, and I have things that I've done, and that's wonderful for legacy purposes. But it doesn't get me anywhere, me personally. What is going to bless me every day is if I have that attitude that I'm going to look for somebody to help, because I'm not just helping somebody. It's a double-edged sword. It goes that way. The blessing goes that way. It comes this way too. And then I want to be able to give God the glory at the end.
Good evening. Buenas noches. I am Alexis Langagne, Senior Vice President of Softec USA. At Softec, we're delighted and honored to celebrate the Maestros, the very best of the best Latino leaders, and do it so with Latino leaders and its founder, Jorge Ferraez. Thank you for that opportunity. At Softec, we also have a Latin heritage. We were founded 41 years ago in Monterrey, Mexico. And we created this concept of nearshoring because we believe in the talent from Latin America and diverse talent that we can leverage across the world. Currently, we serve large organizations and clients across over 25 countries, providing digital transformation and information technology services. Again, congratulations to the Maestros. It's an honor for Softec. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Brent Christopher, president of the foundation that supports children's health, the pediatric healthcare system here in North Texas. For more than 110 years, Children's Health has been working hard to make life better for children all across the Dallas-Fort Worth region. We do that in a lot of ways, but that includes delivering incredible care at the bedside of a sick or injured child, conducting pediatric medical research that will bring hope to kids and families well into the future, and working hard to keep kids healthy out in the community, where they live, where they play, where they go to school, so that hopefully they never even have to come within the walls of the hospital. We are so proud that for many consecutive years, U.S. News & World Report has consistently recognized Children's Health as one of the very best pediatric healthcare systems in the entire country. And now for a 6th year in a row, we couldn't be more excited to be back, continuing to be a part of the Maestro Awards. Tonight, it's my honor to present the Maestro of Entrepreneurship Award to Rafael Garza. Rafa Garza is Executive Vice Chairman of the Board for VBT Financial Corporation and Vantage Bank, Texas, a family-owned bank that resulted from the merger of a couple of different institutions. Mr. Garza is also founder of Bravo Equity Partners, which is a private equity firm that is based in Fort Worth, focused on providing capital to middle market companies in the U.S. and Mexico. That is something that Mr. Garza is familiar with because prior to founding VBT and Bravo, Mr. Garza served as country manager and director of E&Y's Mexico-based corporate finance practice that was really focused on financial advisory and mergers and acquisition. Mr. Garza's experience stretches out across 30 years of advising U.S. and Mexico-based companies around various capital and strategic initiatives. He's a proud graduate with a BBA from Texas Christian University, where he serves on the Board of Trustees today. He also serves as president of the Board of Trustees for the Fort Worth Art Association, along with Baylor Scott & White Holdings, which is the largest not-for-profit healthcare system in the entire state of Texas. Please join me tonight in extending warm, heartfelt congratulations to Rafael Garza for all that he has achieved and the difference he has made in the lives of so many people through his incredible professional and personal accomplishments.
The Latino Leaders Maestro Award 2023 in Dallas, in the category of entrepreneurship, is being presented to Rafael Garza, a very successful, visionary leader, always trying to make his clients succeed. Let's watch his story.
Born and raised in McAllen, Texas, 7 miles from the border, so a border town in the Rio Grande Valley. Had a great upbringing. My parents, my mother was born in Saltillo, Mexico. My father was born in San Antonio, but grew up in Monterrey. My father became a physician and settled after several internships, settled in McAllen. And my father, being the only child, his focus was on education and work. I have 4 great sisters that I grew up with. I'm the 4th out of 5 kids, so no brothers, 4 sisters. So had a great upbringing, and yet I was a little bit in my own world, being the only boy. My hero was my father. The amount of work that he put in to help others was very ensuring to me that I wanted to help others. I wanted to learn from others, and I wanted to help others succeed. And through business and being a CPA, I could do that. And I could do that, and that's probably the best thing for me in my career, was to work with great people and learn from great people. So one, my father, and secondly, there's been groups of people and through my careers. At Ernst & Young, I basically had 3 careers. One, being an auditor, a CPA. 2, they gave me the opportunity to lead a group that advised companies on trade with Mexico. And so I helped U.S. companies buy companies in Mexico, expand companies to Mexico. And so it was, again, that bi-national, bi-cultural, global business continued to help me. And as I learned more, I became more valuable to others. And that is what really helped. And so the people at Ernst & Young that I looked up to, that gave me the opportunity and had the confidence in me to advise these businesses, I'm very grateful for. My 3rd career at Ernst & Young, they gave me that advisory turned into corporate finance advisory. And I moved to Mexico City with my family in 1996 to start our international corporate finance. And again, you don't do the hours that I put in and the travel I put in and then move your family without great support from my own family. I have 3 daughters and a wife for the last 31 years named Liz. And with they're my support, my rock, I couldn't do this without them. So we moved to Mexico City. We started our office, and again, to help companies not only from the U.S., but companies from Mexico expand their businesses. And that was the focus of our practice. And in that work in Mexico, I met, my first longtime partner and friend, Hugo del Pozo, that you know well. Hugo and I started working in 1998 in Mexico City, and then, smart or not smart, but he came to Fort Worth with me, and we started Bravo Equity, and that's was again a joy in my life has been to watch a young Hugo del Pozo turn into a more mature Hugo del Pozo in business. So that was a turning point in my life, was to not only have the gray hair and the experience to continue to help companies on both sides of the border, but to also help a younger generation and to continue to build businesses on both sides of the border. And obviously Hugo's doing that now. The joy is kind of meeting the people, the leaders of businesses we were trying to help, and trying to help them execute their vision for the business. And we continue to do that today. I am involved in the community, and I tend to be involved in the community. I'm on the board. I'm a trustee at Texas Christian University. I'm also a trustee of Baylor Scott & White healthcare system, and I'm also the president of the board of the trustees of the Modern Art Museum of Fort Worth. My opportunity to give to them is that, to make sure that they're stronger for the next generation. And if I can contribute just a little bit, I've invested in them and in our community. We have a great format at Vantage Bank Texas. We have a great platform with great owners, with a great management team that I've worked with for many years in different banks. And so I think with Vantage, every year we do a 5 and 10 year plan, and the world of finance is changing, the world of community banking is changing, and we want to be in the forefront of that. And it's our duty to do so for a family that's holding a legacy asset. And so will be a joy in inventing the next iteration of what community banking looks like, and we've started that now. And it's been, for me as executive vice chairman, I've been able to spend time with customers. A lot of them, that there's a lot of them Hispanic, Latino leaders that are building their businesses, and then they're forming their family offices. And with my experiences, and I've been able to help them and work with them, and that's always the next step. It's always able to, in a supportive role, help great people, customers, build their own family, fulfill their own financial goals. I have 3 daughters and a beautiful wife. 2 of my daughters are married, and so no grandchildren right now. But so this is the perfect time to be traveling with them, and we've done that, and it's one of our favorite things to do. Obviously, I mentioned golf. Golf is important when I can get away and play golf. I try to do that, to be outside and to unwind with friends. So I would say those 2 things: spend time with family, travel with family, be with my extended family as well, and play golf when I can. I'm extremely excited about the future of the demographics of this state, the business growth of this state, and the opportunities we have of continued international trade that I've been so involved in. All that will mature in the future. And I do think we need to continue to provide opportunities for young, talented people to continue this growth and to continue their leadership and build their leadership qualities. I mean, right now, we've been able, in Bravo, we've been able to work with entrepreneurs in the Hispanic area. In Vantage, 81% of our workforce is Hispanic. And I can see the leaders start coming to the forefront. I hope the legacy will be that not only I helped a little bit in providing great businesses for a long time, helped my community, but more important, helped the next generation, and obviously supported my family in the process.
We are the strong, the tenacious and compassionate members of diverse communities. We don't let others define us. We remember our roots while bravely writing the script for our own future. We have an undeniable zest for life and a heart that beats with resounding determination. Whether it's supporting our Toyota team members, embracing the richness of their cultural diversity, or partnering with them to drive business decisions, or serving the community, collaborating with grassroots and national organizations. Together, we're improving access to opportunities, where members of every generation can thrive. We celebrate you. When we come together, we can create limitless possibilities for all. Vayamos juntos.
The Latino Leaders Maestro Award 2023 in Dallas, in the category of Community Service, is presented to Francisco de la Torre Galindo, an admired leader with a great recognition from his own community. Let's hear his story.
Born and raised in Mexico City, it's the first time ever I live in the United States. My mom comes from a long line of people from Jalisco, and on my dad's side, his father came with a exile from Spain. We have pieces of information. We're trying to recreate the puzzle of the family on that side, but we, again, through the ADN thing and all that, we know for sure that he comes from the zone of Madrid. That's the story. So I can say that for sure I am mestizo, proudly mestizo. Since I was a child, I loved to read a lot. And they made jokes in elementary because I loved two things, giving speeches and claiming poetry. I love that. When I was growing up, I thought in one moment that I could be a philosopher or a writer, but I think I found everything I wanted with that human side or humanism side, being a lawyer. Being a lawyer and after representing my country. My first inspiration is my dad. I remember the 1985 earthquake in Mexico. I remember he went out September 19th and he came back in January. And I was 11 years old, not quite understanding what was going on. But everybody talked about him, what he did. And after Elena Poniatowska published a book where he mentioned him, and I understood that that hero that I thought my dad was, he really was a hero. An urban, anonymous hero, but he was a huge inspiration for me to do the right things, to pursue what I wanted, not what people expected for me to do. So that was a huge inspiration for me. I knew I always wanted to do international things. This image of being behind a sign that says Mexico, that's inspiring for me. Trying to make people understand the last 7 years and a half here in the United States, the relevance of Mexico, the size of Mexico, the weight of Mexico in the United States, explaining my country, our culture, our gastronomy, our music, to the world has been a challenge for me since I was a high school kid. I enjoy it a lot. When I was studying, I have a JD from the National University, and I had the privilege of representing the National University in Mexico in different moot courts. The most relevant was the Philip C. Jessup International Moot Court Competition, and it was always about representing Mexico, doing things for Mexico, speak for Mexico. And when you discover that that's what you want to do, then you suddenly discover that you want to be a diplomat. And that's what happened with me. We have to understand something. We diplomats, we execute the foreign policy of the country, but we do not design it. This is important because we diplomats, as public servants, we work with different governments. I came into the Foreign Service in Mexico in 98, 99. And back then it was another political party in power. And then 12 years it was another one, and 6 years then, and now another one. We work for Mexico. We work for the Mexican people. And sometimes it's a challenge to explain to the vast majority of people that we're not politicians and that our only colors are the colors of the flag of Mexico. We're not into politics or into politicians, but we do understand, and this is part of our work, that politicians and politics and policy making is very important for our job, either in Mexico, for the design of the foreign policy, and in the United States, because we have to work, we have to have conversations, dialogue with many, many politicians in the United States, in Texas. You need strategic patience for people to understand what you do, either as an immigrant or a businessman in Dallas. Second, as funny as it may seem, not everybody has the same vision of Mexico as you have. So trying to explain your country, it's a very tough task. Third, this is a job that you can do alone. You're doing it like a team. Here, for example, at the consulate, we work about 100 people. And it's not the consul general that it's working for the people in the community. We're working together. I always tell them that it's like a watch. There are small pieces and big pieces, but if the small piece is not working, nothing works, disregarding the size of the piece. So we need to be on the same page, coordinate and working together. Fourth, and I mentioned this before, we just execute the foreign policy of Mexico. We do not design that policy. So we rely very much on what Mexico decides for us to work with. And this is very complicated for people to understand here. Either it has to do with politics or with the consular work with the immigrant community. We provide service to almost 2 million people in the Metroplex, and we grow from 600,000 in 2010 up to 2 million now. So it's a huge difference. My son, he loves tennis and soccer, so I've been playing tennis like I never did before. My daughter loves dancing and reading. She's sort of more like me with the books. And I have an amazing wife. I'm here and I'm what I am because of the partner I have. We work together in everything. And when I say everything, I mean the education of our kids and what we think of the future together. This future may be a working future or a cultural future or the next vacation, but I like to work always in team with my wonderful wife. I can say that being Consul General in Dallas may have more impact for more people than being ambassador in many countries on behalf of Mexico. So if by any chance this is the climax of my diplomatic career, I'm really satisfied. What comes after, I don't know. But few people can say that they were providing service and caring in a so complex state as Texas in dire times and for so many people. Of course, you're right. I still have 20 more years to go, so we don't know what will happen next. But after being here, I think it's a very good school for whatever it comes. And of course, being consul general, ambassador, permanent representative, that it's another title, a role, it's always a privilege. And again, my dream was not exactly certain rank. It was staying behind a sign that said Mexico, and I'm living my dream all day long.
This has been the 2023 Latino Leaders Maestro Awards in Dallas. On behalf of Latino leaders and all our staff, we are proud and with gratitude to our sponsors and supporters. I want to say thank you to all these corporations that have helped in these Maestro Awards: Southwest Airlines, Children's Health, Comerica Bank, and Toyota, for great organizations. But also, I want to thank the support of AEM, Asociación de Empresarios Mexicanos, Rosa es Rojo, Jones Day, CMP, Pinnacle Group, Merrill Lynch Wealth Management, and Vantage Bank. Thank you all for the support that you have given us for the Dallas Maestro Awards in 2023. Good evening.